So Suzanne and Louise, if you would just get ready to come and share your story. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at, how many of you have a study guide? Fabulous. Okay. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it. I can't really believe I'm holding it in my hand. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it, how to use it. And I'm going to tell you where we're going in this third season and why you're here. So Suzanne and Louise, come first.
Sure. Just need my pages. No, you don't have to take it all off. I just need to turn it. Thank you.
You want that?
No, that's good. Hi. Oh, this is scary. If you hadn't handed me a mic about 6 years ago, I was petrified and couldn't speak into a mic. And all I said when I was at work was, hi. And that was it. So, thank you, Marilyn, for this opportunity for us to share our GetUp journey. So, Suzanne and I are partners in this journey that God is taking us on. And I'm just going to kind of relay what my GetUp looked like. At the beginning of the summer, I'm involved in a lot of things in this church, it seemed like, it felt like. I was volunteering in a lot of different things, and God kind of just heard him say, stop everything. Stop everything you're doing, all the activities, all the volunteering, everything you're doing, stop. And I thought, okay. And it was kind of actually a little bit refreshing because I was getting a little bit tired, and it was a good time to just relax through the summer. But I also knew that when God says, stop doing everything, that he's probably got a plan for me to do something else. So that was kind of interesting, waiting to see what that would be. I've had times in my life where I've experienced I feel so excited, and I don't know why. There's just this excitement in me, there's this joy in me, and I'm going, okay, God's doing something. And I don't know what it is. So we continue on. I started coming to Marilyn's GetUp back in the fall of 2016. Yes. Marilyn had at that time Bristol boards that she had put out. Is that them there? Oh, wow. This is cool. On the Bristol board, I want to see what I wrote. She wanted us to write either a dream or something that was in our hearts that we wanted to start. Let's see which one was mine. There it is. Encourage others through. Is that what it? Nope, that's not mine. What? Oh, let me see.
While she's looking for her handwriting, when we started GetUp, we realized that what we were after was that call on your life. I was going to talk about it in a minute anyway. But that call on your life that you've had from the time you were a little girl. But nothing has ever happened. And even as you got older, you thought, more and more, you knew that this was your passion. This is what you were born to do. This is what's in your DNA. But nothing ever happened. And so when we started GetUp, we put what was called calls on the wall because they were literally on the wall, not on a Facebook wall, on the wall. On the wall. And did you find yours?
Yes.
Good. And so I said to the ladies, I want you to just write anonymously. Nobody needs to know who wrote what. But I want you to write down the thing that you know that God has called you to do, but you're at the age you're at, And it has never happened. And one reason I wanted them to write it was for them to see it, but I wanted every demon in hell who thinks they can stop you from what God has called you to do to read it. And I wanted every ministering angel that has been commissioned from the throne of God to help you guys and to help each one of you and to help me. I wanted each angel to be able to see the word of the Lord written. And I wanted them to know, I'm not there yet, but this is where I'm going. Amen. So that's what they are.
So it's actually a little bit different than what I thought. I thought it was speaking and encouraging others. It is speaking and encouraging. So I kept going back to that because I'm like, what is it? What is it? Marilyn would say things like, her first, it's in the book probably, just keep plowing. And she would walk across, just keep plowing. Just keep plowing. And after the second time, I'm going like, I am really tired of plowing. I don't want to do it anymore. So, other little things that she said, little by little. So I was looking for those little hints, those little things that might pop out. And there was little things. And then at one time, I'm like really straining. I'm going like, God, what is it? I know you got something. I don't know what it is, but what is it? And Marilyn said, it is in you already. It's already in there. And I'm going like, okay, but what is it? And I'd go back and I would read the thing. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So anyways, she kept me thinking. She kept me praying to God, asking for direction. What is it, God? It kept me just focused on where I needed to go with God. I've always been a person that kind of thinks outside the box. I have lots of creative ideas. Some things I thought of, and I thought, wonder how this would work. Then nothing happens. Wonder how this would work. And then nothing would ever come out of it. So, where am I going with this? Sorry. I think there was one Sunday, and you know I'm on the prayer team, so I was standing in the church facing everybody, and God said, this is a season for the singles. I got really excited, not sure what that meant. I remember, I think both of us at one time had gone to Dr. Russ, and because we'd been in different groups with him as well. And I said, you know, the one thing this church is missing is a singles group. And he looked at me and he said, well, then start one. I went, no. That would be, I don't know, it was fear or just, too much. I was just thinking it was bigger, too much. I don't think I can handle that. Do you want to say anything, add to this? Because I think you were...
Actually, when Dr. Russ asked us, the first thing I said was no as well. And I know why I said no is because I was afraid. I was terrified. I mean, something like that is huge. And I don't have the talents that Louise has. Louise is a good planner, and I just do stuff off the cuff. That's just how I work. So I was so scared I just backed off. So, because it's just too big. But then coming to see Marilyn, it's always get up, get up, get up. And it's like, yeah, I want to get up, but I don't know where to get up. Like, what do I do? Right? So I'm just getting up, and I'm like Louise. I was plowing and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then one day, Louise said something.
And I said, what do you think about having a singles group in the church? We kind of both I don't know. I'm going to back up a little bit. 4 years ago, Suzanne and I were attending, there was a gathering, and we had a number of people that were just praying over each other. And they would go around and they would pray for one person, then another person, and we were just all praying for each other. So I saw the person walk up to Suzanne, and then that person grabbed me and put me beside her. And then they prayed over both of us, saying that together we were going to be doing something together, whether it was ministering, whatever it was going to be, it was going to be really good, and that would be encouraging a lot of people. Okay, forgot all about it. Note to self, when somebody prophesies over you, gives you a word, says something, write it down. Write it down. Because I don't remember the exact words, but I do remember them saying stuff. Anyways, nothing really happened at that point. We came to Maryland instead. Then just this past December, we were at another gathering where we were at our prayer groups, and we were being prayed over, and again, Suzanne's standing there, and I get pulled over. And the both of us were prophesied over, and we were anointed for a calling. We still didn't know what it was. Do you want to say anything? Do you want to say anything?
No.
Okay. So, continue on. As I said, I was standing at the front of the church, and I heard in my spirit, this is a season for the singles. So I thought, okay, I'm going to step out, and I'm going to see what this is all about. And started doing some research. And at that time, it was really interesting. My mother randomly sends me, let me see, I want to get the words right here. My mom sends me this YouTube video of Dr. Miles Monroe, The Myths of Singleness, Part 1. She had no idea that God was planting a seed. Then, another road trip. I was just on a road trip, and I'm listening to the radio. It's actually from the States, but best reception, so I'm listening to the radio. And they're saying, we have got a conference, leadership conference, for those that are wanting to start a singles group. Come on down to the States, and we will train you. Bath, New York. And then, one Sunday, Pastor Doug was talking about us stepping out into our purpose, stepping out. And he was calling us to the front, but before he even got me to the front, I was like, I don't know if I can even make it to the front, because I was feeling the Spirit all over me. I got to the front, and I actually couldn't stand. I had to sit down at the front, and I felt the Spirit really, really heavy on me, and I thought, okay, that's strike 3. Something's happening. And I kind of, the singles thing kept playing in my head. And I didn't say a whole lot to Suzanne, because I thought, I've got to make my decision first before I can say anything to her, and I didn't want her to feel obligated just because she's my friend, right? So then I did ask her, and she said,
yes.
She didn't even text it. No. And then I thought, okay, I got to go see Dr. Russ or Pastor Doug. I don't know how this works, and had the plan in my mind and things that I thought God was telling me how it would work. And both of them are on holidays. But that Saturday, I've been in this church for the last 10 years. I've never been a member, and I was going to a membership class. Been volunteering, doing a lot of things in this church, and have never been a member, and really felt at this time that if I'm going to be stepping out and doing something, if I'm going to be serving in this church and keep volunteering, that I need to become a member. So anyways, went to the membership class, and Pastor Denise is there, and I said, Pastor Denise, can I speak to you? I need to ask you something. I said, I'm thinking of starting a singles group. She goes, fantastic! She goes, so am I! And I'm like, okay, well, how does that work? So she talked to me what her plan was, and I told her what my plan was, and her plan was for singles and married couples that we could do once a month outings and groups, and they became the bridge. And so I continued on starting our thing, and actually got a hold of Dr. Russ when he got back, and I said, hey, he kind of talked to us and what the plan was, and I had kind of like this and this and this and this. And then I was telling him about, there's this single source thing that's in the States. What do you think? So he looks it up and he goes, well, Wes, my friend, is one of the people that are teaching it. I'm like, of course, you know everybody in the States. So Suzanne and I actually headed down to Bath, New York, and we did our training there. It was a lot of fun. We were really excited because some of them, Bath, New York is like country, and some of them to drive 2 hours, you're still nowhere. You know, where we can go to Toronto, we can go all kinds of places. So they were having a difficult time starting stuff, but with us, we kind of already had everything in place, and it was working really well. Sorry, not. So anyways, when we decided yes, and we told Dr. Russ, everything fell into place so fast. And then they were having the cell group things in the church, so everything was just fast. It all fell into place. So, taking my shawl off. Here we are. Now, I'll say, the guy in the mall that did this didn't really figure out single life. Yeah, the guy in the mall didn't figure out that women's, like, my life is in my armpit. But anyways, I have redesigned something, and I may be talking to Crystal there. Anyways, so we are Single Life. We meet Tuesdays, the second and fourth Tuesday of the month in the far room. And I've already asked Dr. Russ, when this grows, where can we go? So it is to really empower singles. You are not a reject. You're not a negative. You're not... Sorry. You know, you're not half of a person, you're not incomplete just because you are a single. Singles are whole people. God made Adam first, and he was a single person. So right now we're kind of just doing some things that God is leading me to, like Marilyn, I'm not sure, but in the new year we are going to be doing a book study. But right now we're just kind of getting through some stuff, so we're taking the little baby steps.